So this is gonna be the rate a voice crack, really. So this is gonna be the first video that I upload to this channel. For this video, I want to talk a little bit about who I am and what I want to do with the channel. I've definitely had other YouTube channels in the past, most of which have been not very successful. But for this one, I want to try, I guess, something a little bit different, which is just going to be one, way more consistent, and two, to be, I guess, more authentic in what I do. I think sometimes, like many people, when you're put in front of a camera, you unintentionally change a little bit, and even now I can feel like I'm doing that a little bit, but I want to try as hard as I can to be like as authentic as I possibly can. As hard as that might be sometimes, that's what I want to try to do for this channel. I want to make running content, like just document me running and giving my thoughts and ideas and advice on how to become a better runner. And I think running is kind of a great representation of life in a way, where sometimes it's not always going great, and I don't want to like fake that it is, but if it is going good, then I obviously want to talk about the things that are going good. But basically, yeah, for this video, I want to quickly talk about who I am, what I do with my life, and why I feel like I'm in the situation in life where I want to make running content videos. Really briefly, I'll just mention who I am. I'm just a 31-year-old father of twins. I work full-time as a pastry cook, which is definitely not my dream job, but just based on how life has been the past few years, it's the job that I work right now because it pays the bills. As much as I don't always like it, you know, it is what it is. It pays for me to live my life, I guess. Yeah, but it is definitely far from my dream. I went to school for photography many years ago. Well, not many years ago, I guess. I'm 31 now. I started photography school when I was 22 and I graduated when I was 26. So I guess it's only been 5 years since I graduated, but it feels like many years ago. It feels like a very different life because that was before I had kids. I met my wife at that school, actually. Life was just very different. So it's just crazy how much things have changed. But I think one thing that's always remained fairly consistent with me over the past couple of years has been running. I didn't necessarily run when I started university, but I started running kind of in my mid to late 20s more consistently. But yeah, with that being said, I guess that's kind of roughly who I am. I'm sure when I make these videos, more of that will come out. But yeah, I want to talk also right now quickly about kind of my running history and why I feel like I'm in a situation in life right now where I want to make running videos. I've run off and on, I guess, most of my life. I really consistently started doing it in the summer of 2020. Obviously, that was a bit of a hectic summer, and that was the summer that my then girlfriend, now wife, got me an Apple Watch. So I was able to just like actually record my running, which I thought was crazy. I thought it was so cool that you could just like go for a run, start it, and like track the map and see the pace and everything. And it's something that, yeah, as surprising as it is, I had never done until the summer of 2020. But before that, I had run a little bit when I was in grade school. I did do cross country and a little bit of track, nothing insane, but I did run like a little bit. I grew up playing hockey, baseball, a little bit of soccer and stuff. Like I was always like doing some athletic stuff. I always just like to move my body and stuff, so I was always doing that. After high school, a little bit, I ran, nothing too crazy. You know, I'd go through little, you know, times in my life, or maybe for a month here or there, I would, you know, run maybe a few days a week, but nothing too insane, nothing more than, you know, 30, 40 minutes. And that's all I would do because I didn't have a watch. I would just, you know, I'd map it out on Google Pedometer, see what was roughly, you know, 5K or whatever, and just go for the run and, you know, set a timer on my watch or something, or on my phone, and just go from there because I just literally had no idea what I was doing, but I still did it. And then, yeah, I took some time off during, you know, university, college. And then right around the time we were graduating, well, I graduated in December of 2020. So I guess I got into running pretty heavily a little bit before that. But yeah, around the summer of 2020, when I got my first running watch, I started to run, and I started to see my paces and my distance and everything. And from the summer of 2020, I started, I guess, pretty consistently building over the past few years. I guess now that would be coming up on about 4.5 years ago now. And yeah, I think that the reason I want to start making YouTube videos is because I feel like at this point I definitely have a story to tell and stuff that I've learned, and also where I want to go with running. You know, when I started, I guess, getting back into running more consistently in the summer of 2020, I would struggle to run, you know, a 5K, and running 10K would have been like an insanely big distance for me to run. I also had no idea how to structure it all. I would just run whatever I felt. And I also wasn't using Strava. I was just using like the Apple Watch app, which I've definitely grown out of by now, the Apple Watch app. I use Coros now, the Pace Pro now. But many years ago, I would use the Apple Watch app, and you wouldn't even be able to see your weekly distance. So I would just run and not not think anything of it really. And I never got why I wasn't getting faster, because like so many people, I just wasn't. And even as much information as I was watching online, it never seemed to help because I could just never figure it out. And I think it's one of those things where just over time, you kind of have to learn it on your own, like just different ways of running, where most of it's got to be easy. You want to slowly build your mileage, and you want to introduce things over time, like long runs and workouts. And this took me years, as I know it takes many people. And yeah, so like I was saying though, I started running in the summer of 2020. I then signed up for my first half marathon in, I guess it wasn't my first. Technically, I had run a half marathon in November 2015 with no training. And I ran that one, and I think it was about 2.5 hours. It was the Savannah Rock and Roll Half Marathon, early November 2015. I tried finding stats for it somewhere, but I couldn't. I was down in Savannah, Georgia with one of my friends, and we ran the marathon, or the half marathon. I had literally no training, and it was an absolutely just horribly hard experience because it was really bad. I stopped and walked many times, but I think I ran about 2:30 something, a little below 2:40. If I remember correctly, it was like 2:38. But I don't know exactly. And then that was it though. That I don't even really count that. But then anyway, so when I signed up for my first one that I kind of trained for, that was the summer or the fall of 2021, October 2021. And I ran 1 hour, 52 minutes. And then I have spent the past 3 years trying my best to learn and understand how to run. And I've got my time of 1 hour, 52 minutes down to 1 hour and 18 minutes. That took me, yeah, I guess it was about almost 3 years, 2.5 years to really start to learn how to do this. And I was able to go from, an hour 52 at the age of 27, I think I was, to at the age of 30, running an hour 18. And now here I am at 31 trying to get faster. I've also run 2 marathons. My first one was, I think it was October 2022. That was 3 hours, 45 minutes. Again, training did happen, but I didn't fully understand it that well. My goal then was more just to complete it. And then over the fall of this year, so October of this year, I ran a marathon in 2 hours and 54 minutes, but I definitely have more in me. That was a race that I ran completely on my own, and I think I wasn't confident enough to go out hard enough. I definitely could have gone faster, but I'm still really, really happy with that result. Those are like my 2 that I'm pretty happy with. And yeah, like I remember not too long ago, just the idea of running a sub 20-minute 5K was something that I thought to be almost impossible. And then here I am now looking to run a marathon with consistent 5Ks under 20 minutes. So yeah, I feel like what I want to do with this channel really is give my advice on how I've done it and document myself hopefully getting faster, because I definitely have goals on getting faster. Like I want to get my half marathon time down quite a bit, my marathon time down quite a bit, just all my times down quite a bit. So I want to document that on this channel, and I want to try to help and give as much advice as I possibly can, because running is one of those things that does not happen quickly. It takes many years, I've obviously learned. And yeah, I want to give my advice on it and document a little bit of it as it happens. But with that being said, that's the first video. It was a little bit cluttered and all over the place, but I also want to try to get more structured in how I do these things. But yeah, with that being said, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.